Okay, my guess was a bit off. The girl genius didn't come to attend the lecture.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming to hear me speak today.
She's the one giving the lecture. Japan's famous girl genius, Makise Kurisu, who had her thesis published at the tender age of 17. According to Daru, she turned 18 a few days ago. I first heard about her when Daru pointed her out in a gossip magazine article. That's when he told me that she was going to be a guest at ATF. I'd forgotten all about it.
It's my first time giving a lecture like this, so please forgive me if I'm a little nervous.
The audience is pretty mixed. It's mostly students like us, but there are also a couple of professors. And Kurisu just gave me a sharp look. What did I do? When I return her stare, she quickly averts her eyes. I don't care if she's a genius or whatever. I still don't like her. She may have these people fooled with her timid girl act, but I learned at Radikan how cunning and aggressive she can be, even if her murder was some kind of hallucination. My judgment of her character is still correct.
For today's lecture, I've been asked to speak on the subject of time machines. It's not really my area of expertise, but I'll try my best.
Time machines? Ho ho!
Let me start by saying that the very idea of a time machine is just absurd.
Objection!
Huh?
Every member of the audience, not just Kurisu, is startled by my interruption. Perhaps I'm being slightly rude here, but I'm not one to just sit and listen to some genius girl's drivel. It's far too early to assume that a time machine can't be built. ATF staff are approaching, probably to kick me out. Perhaps I got too carried away.
Okay. It's fine, I guess. It'll be easier to talk in a discussion format.
Thanks to her proposal, the event staff refrained from escorting me out. She sounds a little pissed, but let's not mind that.
But before that, please listen to my thoughts on the subject. Scientists have proposed many theoretical models of time travel, but there are 11 in particular that bear mentioning.
What are the major theories of time travel? I've heard about the cosmic string theory, at least.
Neutron star theory, black hole theory, light speed theory, tachyon theory, wormhole theory, exotic matter theory, cosmic string theory, quantum gravity theory, cesium laser theory, elementary particle ring and laser theory, Dirac antiparticle theory.
Not bad. Perhaps Makise Kurisu is a worthy rival after all.
However, all of these models are purely theoretical. Some of them even contradict each other.
Well, what if someone comes up with a 12th model?
Right, well, it could be contradicted by the 13th model, now couldn't it?
Damn, she twisted my question and used it against me. Touché, genius girl. Suddenly, I feel eyes on me. Some puffed up professors are giving me hard looks from across the room. Maybe I got too carried away. I don't want to risk losing my credits. I should back off for now.
By the way, time travel to the future is available to us right now, according to Einstein's special theory of relativity. For example, let's say someone were to go to Haneda Airport and board a plane headed to Okinawa. Upon arrival, that person would be about 100 millionth of a second further into the future than I am.
What does that mean?
According to the special theory of relativity, time moves slower for objects as they approach the speed of light. For example, if you could run at near the speed of light, you could reach a point where time only moves half as fast for you. If you were to keep running at that speed for 24 hours, 48 hours would elapse in the rest of the world, meaning you would jump one day into the future. Understand, Hoin Kyoma-san?
Gah! Why are you singling me out? I'm doing my best to hold back, but it looks like Makise Kurisu wants to pick a fight. I wish she hadn't said that name in front of so many people. It's too great a risk to let others know my true name.
But that's not really time travel, is it?
Now a professor calmly makes an objection. True, Makise Kurisu's example isn't strictly time travel per se, but I never expected an older man, a professor at that, to refute an 18-year-old girl. Maybe he's just testing the genius girl's resilience.
Yes, you're right.
The genius girl readily concedes the point. If she were a normal 18-year-old, it would be impossible for her to be this calm in front of all these people. A normal 18-year-old would panic when refuted by such a distinguished-looking professor. And yet, Makise Kurisu's giving off an aura of gutsiness that says, I can take this guy on.
Then what about going to the past? Going to the past is possible right now. Look into the sky at night and you can see light from tens of thousands of years ago.
That's not time travel either.
This time it's a nearby student who objects.
Well, I was just getting started.
Is it just me, or did Kurisu look a little nervous just now?
Let's say we wanted to make a machine that could physically transport people through time. What would we need? The best candidates for this are cosmic strings and wormhole. A cosmic string is a string-shaped crevice with extreme mass.
A string-shaped crevice? That must be how they enter our universe. But do cosmic strings really exist?
The crevice is about as wide as an elementary particle and at least as long as the diameter of a galaxy. It has immense mass, so it distorts space-time. If you were to travel through that distortion, you could make a full circle around the string in less than 360 degrees. In short, you can do something resembling a warp. This is called a space-time angular deficit. When you pass through an area of angular deficit, transit time becomes 0. And now we apply this to a cosmic string moving at near light speed. According to the special theory of relativity, time will flow slower for the cosmic string in relation to its surroundings. Therefore, passing through the area of angular deficit would cause the transit time to become negative instead of 0.
So that means...
In other words, you will arrive in the past after transit. If you use 2 cosmic strings, you can do a space deficit jump. If you loop back to your original location, you can return to the same time you started revolving. And that, roughly speaking, is time travel by means of cosmic strings. By the way, just so nobody misunderstands, cosmic strings are not the same as superstrings. Now then, you need 3 things in order to travel to the past with cosmic strings. First, the cosmic strings themselves. 2 strings to be exact. By the way, they are hypothesized to exist only where the universe was first formed, so they might be a little hard to find. Second, you would need the energy required to make them move at near light speed. How much energy do you think you'd need to accelerate something as long as the Milky Way to near the speed of light? I'm pretty sure it'd be a little more than 1.21 gigawatts.
This earns a few chuckles from the audience.
Third, you need a spaceship capable of reaching these cosmic strings and returning, with the time traveler alive, of course. What do you think, Ho-in-san? Care to take on the challenge of cosmic string time travel?
Like that's even possible. And why the hell is she addressing me? I wasn't even the one who jeered this time.
It looks like Ho-in-san doesn't want to take the challenge. In that case, let's consider wormholes. They may be a little more realistic than cosmic strings. By the way, Ho-in-san, do you know what wormholes are?
No, don't ask me. I'm trying to hold back here. Since I've been challenged, though, I can't leave the question unanswered. It's like a shortcut through space, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Whew, I got it right. I sigh inwardly in relief.
There are 2 wormholes joined by a tunnel. No matter how far away the wormholes are, transit time through the tunnel is 0. But oh no, there's a problem. The wormhole tunnel suffers from supergravity and collapses as soon as it opens. So we need something to negate the effects of gravity. So-called exotic matter, a substance with negative mass which repulses other matter.
Negative mass, huh? Is it something that floats if you leave it on the ground? Maybe not. Can't even begin to imagine what it would be like. Kurisu raises her right fist.
Say that the wormhole tunnel is being squished by an invisible fist. In order to pass through, you need something that could oppose my fist's grasping force so that I can't squish anymore.
Kurisu opens her fist.
If you stabilize the tunnel with exotic matter injection, instantaneous travel between wormholes becomes possible. To travel through time, however, takes a little more effort. For example, let's say there's a wormhole entrance here in Akihabara and the exit is in Los Angeles. First, we send the wormhole in LA all the way to the end of the universe at near the speed of light, and once it's there, we yank it back to LA.
How?
According to the special theory of relativity, time slows down for objects moving at the speed of light, meaning the hole that returned to LA would be further in the past than the Akihabara hole. So now, if Holween-san jumped into the wormhole, he'd arrive in LA several years before he left. However, this still can't be called true time travel. It only seems that way. This is called the Urashima effect. The important part is to return to Akihabara from LA through the wormhole once more. Since the transit time is 0, Holween-san will return to Akihabara several years in the past. Time travel complete. The prerequisites for wormhole travel are simpler than the ones for cosmic string travel. First, the wormhole itself. They may exist somewhere in the universe, but nobody has ever seen one. Second, the energy required to move a wormhole to the end of the universe and back at near light speed. Third, exotic matter, which, by the way, has not been confirmed to exist.
So implementation of either one would require a ridiculous amount of effort.
Now, do you see what I meant when I said that the very idea of a time machine is absurd? Time travel theories are all just thought experiments. Not one of them can create a viable time machine. That is my answer. Isn't there anything simpler? Like something you could pull out of a drawer and just use or something? I'm afraid not.
A firm declaration.
This is the limit of modern physics. I can't say how it might change in 10 years, though. Besides, even if someone did overcome the logistical requirements, there may be other factors that prevent time travel from working, and that's because fundamental problems concerning the principle of causality have not yet been solved.
You mean time paradoxes and conservation of mass? The mass of the entire universe is constant. If a time machine traveled from the future to the past, there would suddenly be the extra mass of the time machine and its pilot in the past. I remember reading in a book, not a terribly reputable book, but still, that such a violation of mass conservation would put the universe in danger. It didn't say what kind of danger, though.
If you think that conservation of mass applies to macro systems like the universe or microsystems like atoms or elementary particles, you're mistaken.
What? Is that true? She's laughing at my reaction. That little... how mortifying.
Conservation of mass only applies to chemical reactions. It doesn't hold in modern physics at all. Something can come from nothing.
Wow. That's pretty amazing.
Then what is the problem? The time paradox of time paradoxes. In other words, the grandfather paradox.
Oh, that thing where you kill your own ancestors before you were born.
As long as this paradox goes unsolved, time travel can never be realized. Never.
What if you just don't kill them?
You can't think of it like a sci-fi movie. It's not just about your family tree. There are far greater dangers than that.
Really? It doesn't seem that dangerous.
Any paradox, no matter how small, would cause the total collapse of causality, relativity, and every other physical law in existence. Paradoxes are nothing more than thought experiments. They cannot occur in reality, and they should not. Nothing that has even a 0.00001% chance of causing a paradox can happen. The universe won't allow it. Wouldn't you say this is the logical conclusion? There may be loopholes, like parallel worlds or the self-consistency principle, but those seem too much like fantasy for me to accept.
Gah. I grind my teeth. When I see Makise Kurisu looking at me with her composed expression, I avert my eyes. Looks like I have no choice but to concede. Makise Kurisu is truly a genius.
Special thanks goes out to my Priest of the Hog and my Elder Hog prophets, Adra, Kranatan, Death Kitty, Eshak7, Jonathan Hummel, Madam Sir, Magil of the Shadows, Ventus Agri, and Xavier Pena. Thanks, guys.